The first photo arrived at 3 a.m. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. I reached for it groggily, assuming it was a work emergency. Instead, I saw a message from an unknown number. It was a photo of my wife, Sarah, in bed. She wasn't alone. The caption read, "She screams louder with me." I sat up, my heart pounding. Sarah was asleep next to me, or at least I thought she was. I looked over. Her side of the bed was empty. Another photo came through, this one more explicit. Same caption, "She screams louder with me." Then another, and another. 5 photos in total, all of my wife with another man, all with the same taunting caption. The final message read, "She's with me right now. She'll be home in an hour. Sweet dreams, champ." I stared at my phone, shaking with rage and disbelief. My wife was cheating on me, and her lover was sending me photos at 3 a.m. while she was with him. I got out of bed and went downstairs. I forwarded all the photos to my email, then to a cloud storage account. Evidence. I'd need evidence. Then I sat in the dark living room and waited. At 4:15 a.m., I heard a car pull up. The front door opened quietly. Sarah tiptoed in, trying to make noise. I turned on the lamp. She jumped, her hand flying to her chest. "Jesus, Nathan, you've scared me." "Where were you?" I couldn't sleep. I went for a drive." "A drive at 3 a.m.? "Yeah, I do that sometimes when I can't sleep. You know that." "Show me your phone." "What? Why?" "Show me your phone, Sarah." "Nathan, what's going on?" I held up my phone, showing her the photos. "I got these tonight from your lover while you were with him." Her face went white. "I can explain." "Explain what? That you've been cheating on me? That your lover sent me explicit photos of you two together? That he captioned them, 'She screams louder with me'?" "Nathan, please." "How long?" "What?" "How long have you been fucking him?" She started crying. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. "Who is he?" "His name is Kyle Brennan." Kyle Brennan. "And where did you meet Kyle Brennan?" "At the gym." "Of course, the gym. How original." I stood up. "Get out." "What?" "Get out of my house, now." "Nathan, we need to talk about this." "There's nothing to discuss. You cheated on me for 6 months. Your lover sent me explicit photos at 3 a.m. There's nothing to discuss. Get out." "Where am I supposed to go?" "I don't care. Go to Kyle's place. Go to a hotel. Go to hell. Just get out of my house." "This is my house, too." "No, it's not. I bought this house before we got married. It's in my name. You have no claim to it. Now get out before I call the police and have you removed." She grabbed her purse and keys, still crying. "Nathan, please, we can work through this." "No, we can't. Get out." She left. I sat in the dark for a long time, staring at the photos on my phone. The arrogance of this Kyle Brennan, sending me photos, taunting me, telling me my wife screamed louder with him. He was going to regret that. I'm Nathan Reeves, 39 years old, a corporate attorney in Seattle. Sarah and I have been married for 8 years, together for 11. We met through mutual friends, got married young, and I thought we were solid. I was wrong. The next morning, I called the best divorce attorney in Seattle. His name was Martin Cross, and he had a reputation for being absolutely ruthless. "Mr. Reeves, tell me what happened."
I told him everything. The photos, the captions, the 6-month affair. "And you have the photos?" "Yes, all 5 of them, plus the messages." "Did you take screenshots, save them to multiple locations?" Yes, email, cloud storage, and external hard drive. Good, very good. Mr. Reeves, this is what we call a slam dunk case. Your wife committed adultery, and her lover was stupid enough to document it and send it to you with taunting captions. No judge is going to look favorably on this. What can I get? Everything. The house, the assets, favorable terms. Washington is a no-fault divorce state, but adultery still matters in asset division and spousal support, especially when it's this egregious. What about him? Kyle Brennan. Can I go after him? Legally, Washington doesn't have alienation of affection laws, so you can't sue him for the affair itself. But the photos, those might be a different story. How so? Did you consent to having intimate photos of your wife shared with you? No. Did your wife consent to having intimate photos of herself shared with you? I don't know. Probably not. Then Kyle Brennan may have violated revenge porn laws. He distributed intimate images without consent. That's a crime in Washington. Can we press charges? We can report it to the police. Whether they prosecute is up to them, but it's worth trying. Do it. Martin filed for divorce that afternoon. Sarah was served at her office the next day. She called me immediately. Nathan, you filed for divorce? What did you expect? I expected us to talk, to try counseling. There's nothing to talk about, Sarah. You cheated for 6 months. Your lover sent me photos at 3 a.m. Our marriage is over. What about the house, my things? Your things are in the garage, in boxes. You can pick them up any time. The house is mine. You can't just kick me out. I already did. And Sarah, I reported Kyle to the police. What? Why? He sent me intimate photos of you without your consent. That's revenge porn. It's illegal. You're trying to get him arrested? I'm not trying. I'm succeeding. He committed a crime. He's going to pay for it. Nathan, please don't do this. Too late. It's already done. I hung up. 2 days later, Kyle Brennan called me. Is this Nathan Reeves? Who's asking? Kyle Brennan, Sarah's boyfriend. Sarah's boyfriend. That's cute. What do you want, Kyle? I want you to drop the police report. No. Look, man, I didn't mean anything by those photos. I was just messing around. Messing around? You sent me explicit photos of my wife at 3 a.m. with captions saying she screams louder with you. That's not messing around. That's harassment and revenge porn. I didn't think. No, you didn't think. You thought you were being clever, rubbing it in my face. Well, congratulations. You got my attention. Now you're going to get the attention of the police and the courts. Sarah said you're divorcing her. I am. Good. She deserves better than you anyway. Better than me? Kyle, I'm a successful attorney. I own my own home. I'm faithful. What are you, a personal trainer who sends revenge porn at 3 a.m.? I make Sarah happy. That's more than you ever did. If you made her happy, she wouldn't have been lying to you about where she lived. Did she tell you she was separated, that we were getting divorced? Silence. She didn't tell you, did she? She told you we were separated, that she was living with a friend, that the divorce was almost final. But we weren't separated, Kyle. We were living together, sleeping in the same bed. She was lying to both of us. That's not true. Ask her. Ask her if she was sleeping in my bed the night before she slept in yours. Ask her if she was still wearing her wedding ring when she met you at the gym. Ask her if she ever told me she wanted a divorce before I found out about you. You're lying. Am I, or is Sarah the liar?
He hung up. 3 days later, the police contacted Kyle. They wanted to interview him about the photos. Sarah called me, hysterical. Nathan, the police called Kyle. They want to question him. Good. You're really doing this? You're really trying to get him arrested? He committed a crime, Sarah. He sent me intimate photos of you without your consent. That's illegal. I gave him consent. Did you?
Did you tell him to send those photos to me? Did you say, "Hey Kyle, send my husband explicit photos of us at 3 a.m. with taunting captions"? Well, no, but then you didn't consent. He violated your privacy and mine. He's going to face consequences. Nathan, please, I love him. Don't do this to him. You love him? Sarah, you barely know him. You've been sneaking around with him for 6 months. That's not love. That's an affair. It's more than that. I don't care. He sent me revenge porn. He's going to be charged. End of story. I'll never forgive you for this. I don't want your forgiveness. I want a divorce. I hung up. A week later, Kyle was charged with cyberstalking and distribution of intimate images without consent, both misdemeanors, but with potential jail time and fines. His lawyer called Martin. "My client is willing to plead guilty if your client drops the civil suit." "What civil suit?" Martin asked. "The one your client is going to file for emotional distress." Martin looked at me. "Are you going to file a civil suit?" "I wasn't planning on it, but now that you mention it..." Martin smiled. "My client will consider dropping the civil suit if your client pleads guilty, pays a $10,000 fine to my client, and agrees to a restraining order prohibiting any contact with my client or his soon-to-be ex-wife." $10,000? That's excessive. Your client sent revenge porn at 3 a.m. with taunting captions. My client could sue for much more. $10,000 is generous. Kyle's lawyer conferred with his client. "We'll agree to the restraining order and a guilty plea, but $5,000, not $10,000. $8,000 and we have a deal." "Fine, $8,000. Kyle pled guilty. He paid me $8,000. He was sentenced to 6 months probation and mandatory counseling, and he was prohibited from contacting me or Sarah. Sarah was furious. "You took money from him? You bankrupted him." "He's a personal trainer. He'll make it back. And Sarah, he sent me revenge porn. He's lucky I didn't sue him for $100,000. You're vindictive." "No, I'm holding people accountable for their actions. There's a difference." The divorce proceeded quickly. Martin was right. It was a slam dunk. Sarah tried to argue she deserved half of everything, but Martin destroyed her. "Your client committed adultery for 6 months. She lied to my client repeatedly. Her lover sent my client explicit photos with taunting captions. She has no moral or legal ground to stand on. My client contributed to the marriage." "How?" "She worked part-time as a yoga instructor, making $25,000 a year. My client is a corporate attorney making $250,000 a year. He bought the house before they married. He paid for everything. She contributed nothing." "That's not fair." "Fair? Your client cheated for 6 months. Fair went out the window when she decided to have an affair." Sarah got nothing. No alimony, no assets, no house. She got her personal belongings, her car, and that's it. She moved in with Kyle, who was living in a small apartment across town. I heard through mutual friends that they were fighting constantly. Turns out, when your relationship is built on lies and affairs, it doesn't hold up well under pressure.
2 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a call from Kyle's wife. "Kyle's wife?" I said. "Kyle is married?" "Was married," the woman said. Her name was Jennifer. "I filed for divorce last month. I found out about Sarah and about the photos you sent you. My lawyer contacted yours to get copies for my divorce case." "I'm sorry, I didn't know Kyle was married." "Neither did Sarah, apparently. Kyle told her he was single. He told me he was working late. He was lying to both of us." "That seems to be a pattern with these two." "I wanted to thank you for pressing charges, for holding him accountable. If you hadn't, I might never have found out." "You're welcome. I'm sorry you had to go through this." "Me too, but I'm glad I know the truth now." "What are you going to do?" "Take everything.
The house, the savings, custody of our daughter. Kyle is going to be left with nothing. Good. He deserves it. He does, and so does Sarah. 3 months after the divorce, the court date arrived for the final hearing. It was a formality. Everything had been settled in mediation, but both parties had to appear before the judge to finalize everything. Sarah showed up with Kyle. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't a party to the divorce, but he came anyway. The judge, a woman in her 60s named Judge Patricia Morrison, was not amused. "Mr. Brennan, you are not a party to these proceedings. Why are you here?" "I'm here to support her, Your Honor." "Support her? Mr. Brennan, according to these documents, you are the reason for this divorce. You had an affair with Mrs. Reeves. You sent explicit photos to Mr. Reeves at 3 a.m. with taunting captions. You were charged with cyberstalking and distribution of intimate images. Why would you think it's appropriate to be here?" I didn't think clearly. Mr. Brennan, you are to leave this courtroom immediately. If you do not, I will hold you in contempt. Kyle left, his face red. Judge Morrison turned to Sarah. "Mrs. Reeves, I've reviewed the evidence in this case, the photos, the messages, the timeline of your affair. I have to say, in my 30 years on the bench, I have rarely seen such blatant disregard for the sanctity of marriage. Your Honor, I made a mistake." "A mistake? Mrs. Reeves, you had a 6-month affair. You lied to your husband repeatedly. Your lover sent him explicit photos with taunting captions. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern of deceit and cruelty." "I know, but I'm not finished. You are asking this court to award you spousal support and a share of marital assets. Based on what? Your contribution to the marriage? You worked part-time, making minimal income. Your husband paid for everything, and you repaid him by having an affair. Your Honor, I deserve something. You deserve nothing, and that's exactly what you're getting. This court finds in favor of Mr. Reeves on all counts. No spousal support, no division of assets. Mrs. Reeves, you are to vacate the marital home immediately and remove your belongings within 48 hours. Do you understand?" Sarah was crying. "Yes, Your Honor." "Good. And Mrs. Reeves, a word of advice. The next time you're in a relationship, try being honest. It'll save everyone a lot of time and money." The gavel came down. Sarah left the courtroom sobbing. I left victorious. 6 months after the divorce, I heard that Sarah and Kyle had broken up. Apparently, Kyle's ex-wife had taken everything in their divorce, and he couldn't afford to support Sarah. They'd been fighting about money constantly. Sarah moved back in with her parents. She'd lost her job at the yoga studio. The owner didn't want the scandal. She was working retail, barely making ends meet. Kyle moved to another state to start fresh. I felt nothing. I sold the house, too many bad memories, and bought a condo downtown. I got a promotion at work. I started working out, lost weight, and felt better than I had in years.
I also started dating. Her name was Emily, and she was a doctor. We met at a charity event. "I'm divorced," I told her on our first date. It ended badly. How badly? My ex-wife had an affair. Her lover sent me explicit photos at 3 a.m. with captions saying she screamed louder with him. Her eyes widened. "Oh my God. What did you do?" "I divorced her, got him charged with revenge porn, took everything in the divorce." "That's intense." "Too intense?" "No, he deserved it. What kind of person sends photos like that?" "An arrogant asshole who thought he was untouchable." "Was he?" "No. He pled guilty, paid me $8,000 and got 6 months probation. Plus his wife divorced him and took everything." "His wife? He was married?" "Yep, married with a kid. He was lying to everyone." "What about your ex? What happened to her?" "She got nothing in the divorce, lost her job, moved back in with her parents. Last I heard, she's working retail." "Good. She deserved it." "I think so too." 1 year after the divorce, Emily and I moved in together. She was everything Sarah wasn't: honest, loyal, supportive, successful. "I'm glad your ex cheated," Emily said one night. "That's a weird thing to say." "I know, but if she hadn't, you'd still be married to her, and we wouldn't be together." "That's true. I never thought of it that way. So in a way, I should thank her, and Kyle, for being terrible people and freeing you up." I laughed. I don't think they'd appreciate that sentiment. Probably not, but it's true. 18 months after the divorce, I ran into Sarah at a coffee shop. She looked terrible. She'd gained weight, her hair was unkempt, she looked exhausted. "Nathan," she said quietly. "Sarah? How are you?" "I'm great. You?" "I'm managing." "I heard you and Kyle broke up?" "Yeah, turns out he was just using me. He was married the whole time. Did you know that?" "I found out during the divorce. His wife called me." "He lied to me about everything, just like I lied to you. I guess karma is real." "I guess so." "Nathan, I'm sorry. For everything. I know it doesn't change anything, but I need you to know I regret it. All of it. The affair, the lies, everything. I threw away a good marriage for a guy who was using me." "I know. Do you ever think about what might have been if I hadn't cheated?" "No, because I'm happier now than I ever was with you." "That hurts." "Good. You hurt me for 6 months. You and Kyle humiliated me. You deserve to hurt." "I know. I wanted you to know I'm sorry." "I don't care if you're sorry. Your apology doesn't change anything. Goodbye, Sarah."
I walked away. 2 years after the divorce, Emily and I got engaged. I proposed on a beach in Hawaii with a ring I'd picked out myself. "Yes," she said, laughing and crying. "Yes, yes, yes!" We got married 6 months later. Small ceremony, close friends and family, no drama, no lies, just love. Judge Morrison sent a card. "Congratulations on your wedding. I'm glad you found happiness after everything you went through. Best wishes for a long and honest marriage." I smiled. Even the judge was rooting for me. 3 years after the divorce, Emily and I had our first child, a son. We named him after my father. I heard through the grapevine that Sarah was still single, still working retail, still living with her parents. Kyle had remarried. His new wife divorced him after 6 months when she found out he was cheating. Some people never learn. 4 years after the divorce, I got a message on LinkedIn from Kyle. "Hey man, I know it's been a while. I wanted to apologize for everything. I was young and stupid. I shouldn't have sent those photos. I shouldn't have gotten involved with Sarah. I'm sorry." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I deleted it without responding. 5 years after the divorce, I was sitting in my living room holding my son, watching Emily make dinner. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "How lucky I am. How grateful I am that Sarah cheated. That's a weird thing to be grateful for." "I know, but if she hadn't, I'd still be married to her. I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't have our son. I wouldn't have this life." "So her cheating was a good thing?" "In a way, yeah. It freed me. It showed me what I deserved, and it led me to you. I love you. I love you too." My wife's lover sent me photos captioned, "She screams louder with me." The judge wasn't amused. Neither was I. So I destroyed them both. I got him charged with revenge porn. I took everything from her in the divorce. I left them with nothing. And I built a better life